Mr. Highboom.
Huh?
Mr. Highboom.
Yes?
Yeah, look, we understand that you're taking a trip with us tomorrow.
Trip?
Yeah, well, we want you to know that Avis is working right now.
Avis?
It's vacuuming your car, checking the oil, brakes, even the air in the spare tire.
Spare tire.
One of the ways Avis tries harder is working at night, so you're ready in the morning. Yeah. Oh, by the way, it's a Chrysler Cordoba, and it's blue. See you in the morning.
See you in the morning.
We try harder, Avis, we don't know another way.
Want to cut your fuel bills? Whether your house is new or old, put insulation everywhere. It can save you money. Your attic. You need a 6 to 12-inch blanket of pink Owens Corning fiberglass. Walls, full insulation. Unheated crawl space, insulate below the floor. Live where it's cold, insulate basement walls. See your Owens Corning fiberglass supplier to learn all about insulation. Insulation is cheaper than oil.
Well, as part of the cheerleaders for Tampa Bay, the swashbucklers, they call them down here, as their team has taken the ball away from the Redskins. On the fumble recovery by Washington. 1st and 10, Tampa from its 20. Gary Huff going out to Isaac Hagens, number 81, and the officials whistle it dead.
That was a great play by Joe Bird Lavender. He came up there that beat the offensive tackle there. It's the same play that Charlie Taylor ran in the last series with the Redskins. You see that offensive tackle coming out there now. He's supposed to block the cornerback, but Joe Lavender got up there so quickly that he missed him, and just a great defensive play on Lavender's part there.
Loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Lewis Carter, number 32, has come into the Tampa Bay backfield for the first time. He's teaming with Jimmy Dubose as McKay continues to shuffle his running backs around. Huff drops it over the middle to Carter. That's only good for short yardage to the 22-yard line. He gained perhaps 4 yards in the play. It'll be 3rd down, and the Bucs still need 8 for the first down. They have, as we said, just 1 first down in the ball game so far.
I think if the referee hadn't gotten away that time, he would have gotten the first down. He had to dodge that referee. He drops back there. He's getting a good rush from Brundage there. He gets the ball, and if he can come this way, he may get a first down, but he's got to go back the other way because the referee is sitting right in front of him. He runs right into the defender.
Huff on 3rd down, 8. Has it blocked on him. Incomplete. And again, the Buccaneers will have to punt.
That was Darren Talbot that got in there and got a hand on that ball, and he's been having a great year this year. He's got a couple of sacks already, and that's as good as a sack whenever you knock one of those balls down by a defensive lineman.
This will be Green's 6th punt of the first half. George Allen.
They've been trying to return every one of these punts, and if they ever get one, a good kick coming out of there, they just might get a long run back.
Nice kick by Green. Eddie Brown at the 30-yard line at his own end of the field. 35 and tripped up at the 38.
I'd say the special teams of Tampa has been playing good football because the offense isn't doing an awful lot. The defense is playing great football, and it's just a matter of not making mistakes.
4:59 left to play in the first half. Redskins lead 10-0.
This is Lowell Thomas. Alaska, tough on people, tough on auto parts. So we took Motorcraft heavy-duty batteries, oil filters, and tune-up parts to Alaska, testing them in 50 GM, Chrysler, and Ford cars and trucks. After 6 months of Alaskan pipeline country, less than 1% of the parts couldn't take the punishment. No matter what you drive, wherever you drive, ask for Motorcraft auto parts from Ford. Tested tough in Alaska. So long.
Here's something for you to look forward to tomorrow night on CBS. Logan Runs. Not Logan Runs. Logan's Run has nothing to do with football, but it takes you to the outer reaches of the earth for a mind-bending adventure every Monday. That's a new time. 1st and 10, Redskins at their 38-yard line. Kilmer.
There he is.
Wide open. Frank Grant is to the 40-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes, that's the bread and butter play. That quick post to either side, strong or weak side. Of course, that was a strong side with Frank Grant that time. And he was open right from the beginning, but Billy had to wait until he cleared the linebacker there and get it to him. There's just nowhere to go. Look at those Tampa Bay defenders come in there.
You've run that thing 1,000 times. Is that mainly timing? Is it pretty well set up on timing?
That's all it is. You don't count. You don't look for yardage. I took 5 steps and boom, I was in there. And Billy is, like I say, he's great at throwing that quick post.
First down for the Redskins at the Tampa Bay 41-yard line. Riggins, tough yard as he moves it inside the 40, maybe the 39.
Don't look like Washington's going to get anything on the ground against these guys. They're going to have to go to the air and go to the air a little more often and get out of this conservative playing right now. If they want to get, because anything can happen. They turn a big kick or something, or get an interception for a touchdown. This game is in jeopardy right from the beginning.
Second down, 8. Nose of the ball just inside the Tampa Bay 40-yard line. Bucs have 1 first down. In fact, they haven't gotten across the 50-yard line yet. Kilmer overthrowing his intended receiver, Grant, who took a pretty good shot from Mark Cottney, number 33. So it's good for the ribs.
I tell you, I've gotten plenty of those. It doesn't feel too good.
Tony Dorsett has just run 77 yards for a touchdown. The Dallas-St. Louis game is now tied at 10.
Dorsett, the next O.J. Simpson. He's got a little bit to learn, but he's a great runner.
It's a shame he can't make the starting lineup yet, isn't it?
I know it, but Preston Pearson's a great back that he's got in front of him.
Third down and 8 for the Redskins. Looked like Tampa Bay jumped offside. Markers down as Thomas is corralled at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Dewey Selman is all over the football field. He made that tackle. But that right defensive end was offside.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Leroy Selman was offside, and Dewey Selman makes the tackle on the other side of the field. That's called brotherhood. I guess Dewey's over there telling him now, look here, big brother, you're going to have to stay on side, making these great plays, and they're calling them back.
5 yards against the Buccaneers.
Offside, 63. Defense, third down.
So moving inside the 35-yard line, it is now third down and 4. Cedric Brown comes out, and Danny Reese comes into the Tampa Bay secondary.
Billy likes to go weak side on third down situations somewhere. He might even check down to the running back.
Kilmer has Grant. And
Great defensive play.
Grant hit again by Cottney, the same guy who got him on the sidelines a moment ago. And Frank will need some tending to. Boy, watch the shot that he takes here.
Actually, Frank made a great move coming inside, but he had double coverage, and that inside man, just as he missed the ball, got a good shot on him. That's when you get hit the worst, when you miss those balls in there. Just off his fingertips.
And those routes over the middle, I imagine it's a real thrill when they call that number, huh?
I've had my nose broken 5 times on those kind of passes. And it looks like it. My mother said when the baby came out, first thing she saw was my nose.
3 minutes and 21 seconds left to play in the first half here at Tampa Stadium, as Frank Grant gets the attention from the Redskin trainers.
He'll be all right, though. He's just shaking up, buddy. That's the tenderest spot on your body, that nose.
That sets up fourth down, and the Buccaneers still need almost 4 yards for the first down. Rather, Redskins need almost 4 for the first down with the ball at the 35-yard line of Tampa Bay. So let's see if Mosley can do it from here. Theismann will put it down at the 42. This will be a 52-yard field goal attempt. Keep in mind, he has a 51-yarder to his credit this year. Good strong leg. It's far enough. It is no good. Missed it off to the right. Had the distance, but just a little bit off in the accuracy department.
Mark Mosley's been kicking very well this year. He's kicking strongly, and he just missed that one. That was a tough one. His family is in town from Houston. I guess about 30 people came in campers just to see him today.
First and 10 for the Buccaneers at their 34-yard line as the ball comes back to the line of scrimmage. Gary Huff trying to reach J.K. McKay, the wide receiver, son of the head coach.
That was a great pattern that McKay ran. It was what we call a corner or a zig out. And he made a good move to the inside and got back out there wide open, but the ball was just overthrown.
So McKay comes out of the ball game, and he's replaced by Isaac Higgins at the wide receiver. Redskins leading 10-0. Touchdown run by Mike Thomas, the only TD in the game. Anthony Davis to the 36-yard line for a pickup of 2. It'll be 3rd down 8 as Chris Hamburger wraps him up.
I don't know if Anthony Davis really want to mix it up in there. With all that speed he has, boy, if he hit that hole a little bit harder instead of jitterbugging a little bit, I think he could break a few of those.
Yeah, Hamburger's amazing, isn't he? Comes back after that appendicitis thing. What he missed, 4 games?
Yeah, he missed about 4 games, and I tell you, he came back and had a great game against St. Louis. Called a great game and played a great game against them.
Played the whole game against the Cardinals last week. 3rd down 9 from the 36-yard line. Huff over the middle, intended for Lewis Carter. It's one they completed a little while ago, but it doesn't work this time.
Yeah, Kenny Houston had that covered all the way along with Harold McClinton. They were in there, and there's no way that anybody's going to beat Kenny too many times. Great football player and a great man.
Green in to do the punting. That's the time remaining in the first half. Green's going to be a little sore-legged after this one. This is his 7th punt of the first half. Hangs it up there beautifully. Eddie Brown waits, fumbles it at the 26, actually muffed it and kicked it out of bounds. Belongs to the Redskins. In that case, it's a case that's a muff, and in that case, it's the team that had possession.
I know exactly what George Allen is going through right now, and I can imagine what he'll be telling his team at halftime. These kind of mistakes here just cannot be made. Eddie Brown is one of the most sure-handed receivers in the league. Here he dropped that one, and then it was kicked off of one of his own players and out of bounds.
Redskins a little bit flat. Of course, Dallas was flat last week, too, when they played Tampa Bay. Mike Thomas back in the game, gets to the 22-yard line. But how can you not be flat when you're facing a team that hadn't won a game and has lost 17 straight?
That's true, but I talked to a couple of the offensive linemen, Terry Hermling and Danny Nugent, and they were telling me they respect this Tampa Bay defense. It's just a matter of the offensive team just cannot get anything going for them.
I want to remind you once again as Billy Kilmer goes over to talk to George Allen about the CBS Sports Spectacular action coming your way next Saturday. The Jockey Club Gold Cup, that'll be live coverage of the 59th running of that event from Belmont. That's the 3rd leg of the Fall Triple Crown for 3-year-olds and up. And for those of you who like gymnastics, and Nadia Comaneci, Nellie Kim of the Soviet Union, they were the heroines of the highly acclaimed Chunichi Cup competition. That event took place in Japan, and you'll see the videotape highlights of that, along with the strongest men competition.
Are they going to have them? They're going to have them pulling a truck this week?
Something like that, yeah, carrying a truck, one or the other.
I tell you, some of the things that they had them doing was just unbelievable.
So that's something to look forward to next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Frank Lieber along with Roy Jefferson. We're at Tampa Stadium, Tampa, Florida. Buccaneers and the Redskins. Have a rundown on all the final scores for you. as well as interviews with George Allen and John McKay upcoming at halftime. So be sure and stay tuned for that. 1st and 10, Redskins at their 22-yard line. Thomas and Riggins are the setbacks. Thomas lost maybe a yard. Leroy Selman again in on the stop.
If I ran into a stone wall enough times, I think I'd try and go the other way. And that Leroy Selman is nothing but a stone wall over there.
It's like beating your head against concrete, isn't it? You figure sooner or later you're going to stop because it hurts.
That's for certain. Larry Jones has come in to replace Frank Grant at the flanker position, and he's in the slot right now this time.
Great handoff to Riggins. He gets across the 25 to the 26. He's still about 3 yards short of the first down. Redskins were content at this point to simply run out the clock, but now Tampa Bay stops it, calling a timeout with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go.
You know, I think a lot of things are happening right now that George Allen expressed concern over earlier today. These players just aren't ready to play good football. There's just been too many mistakes made, not only by the Redskins, but Tampa also, but they just make too many mistakes, and that's the philosophy of George Allen. He wants these veteran ball players because he feels they won't make mistakes.
4th and 3 for the Redskins at their own 26-yard line. Crowd somewhere in the neighborhood of 60,000 in attendance. They haven't had much to cheer about, except for defense.
These are some great fans, though. They've had three games here, over 60,000 people, and they haven't won one yet.
Tampa Bay has 1 first down offensively in the first half and has yet to cross midfield. 10 men on the line of scrimmage for the Buccaneers as Bragg awaits the snap. Here they come. Flag goes down as Bragg does too, and the Redskins will get it back. Hagan's smothered at the 22-yard line. But running into the punter will be called there, and the Redskins will get it back.
Yeah, Mike Bragg is punting the ball now, and he gets hit. They tried to block this one. There was a lot of them in there, and they run right into him. And, of course, the Redskins are going to get the ball now. There was good coverage on the play also, and I think that's because they were trying for the block. Nobody was blocking downfield there.
So the Washington offense comes back on the field with 57 seconds to go.
They'll get a first down, but I don't think they'll try and score. They can get a big play on the first one here. They just might try and get in field goal range, or maybe go for the TD. But George doesn't like to take chances like this deep in his territory near the end of a half or near the end of the game.
Defense, first down.
Appeared to be David Lewis, number 57, who ran into the punter.
If they do take a chance, it may be with Larry Jones with something over the deep middle there. Larry was very successful in preseason when he got a lot of playing time in catching the ball and catching it in a crowd and catching it in the middle. They've got a play from this formation here, a Y-in, that could bring that about.
Gilmer back to throw it. Going wide to Thomas. And Mike Thomas run out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Not much there. Dewey Selman, number 61, made the stop.
That play is open that I was mentioning to Larry Jones over there. If they throw it, they ran a screen, of course, and they run that screen sometimes off of that same pattern that I mentioned. And if he wants to get in field goal range, that could be a play they come back with.
Second down, 11 needed for the first down. Actually a loss of a yard of the play. Nose of the ball is just inside the Redskins' 30-yard line. Charlie Taylor wide to the right side. Jones in the slot inside of him at the bottom of your screen. Thomas high-stepping his way out to the 37-yard line. Got a couple of more final scores for you. I think we'll save those for halftime. Third down 3. Sideline throw to Fugit. Wrestling match for the ball. Fugit came down with it at the 40-yard line and went out of bounds, stopping the clock with 26 seconds to go.
I don't know who caught that ball yet.
Well, they say that Fugit had it. Tie goes to the runner like in baseball, right?
That's correct. Billy played pretty conservative there, and he just didn't want to put it downfield. It was a great defensive play there. Fugit did catch the ball, and my man had his hand in there and was trying to grab it away.
Fourth down. Redskins still need a couple of yards for the first down. Looks like Tampa Bay's playing return this time. They've got 8 men up on the line of scrimmage. Bragg kicks it away, hangs it up there nicely. Hagan's backpedaling. Reese at the 10-yard line, up to the 15, and crawls forward to about the 18-yard line.
Penalty down on the play.
First and 10 for the Buccaneers.
They have a legal man downfield on that play.
Yeah,
so
we've had that
like
several times.
Go over again. I think we had some of everything so far in this first half, except an offensive flourish.
Shall we say it's been loosely played?
Very definitely.
So the officials bringing it back. That's at least the 4th time that we've had ineligible receiver downfield.
Illegal motion, 88. Offense, it's 4th down.
Danny Bugs was found down moving before the ball was snapped that time. He was probably afraid that somebody was going to get a position on him and rush the kicker that time and move late.
Bragg at his 20-yard line, kicks it away again, kick a little bit short, bounces at the 35-yard line and going to be down by the Redskins at the 32. So time for one play perhaps for Tampa Bay, and that'll be it as far as the first half is concerned. Redskins leading 10-0. Neither team has scored here in the second period. Mosley 1 out of 2 in the field goal department, and Mike Thomas with a short touchdown run, the only TD of the game.
Tampa Bay defense is really bottling up Washington's running game, and actually Billy hasn't been too successful throwing the ball, mainly because of the pass rush of Tampa Bay.
Gary Huff from his own 33-yard line, intercepted. Picked off by Kenny Houston at the 40. Time is run out in the first half to the 30. Tries to lateral the ball. I think he was trying to lateral it. Anyway, time is run out, and the first half is over.
It's still alive,
well,
looks
let's
like.
see.
It's still alive. Look at that. Is that great? I don't know, is it great or not? All these mistakes, but they were trying to score.
I don't think great is what I used, but I think he was trying to lateral the ball because he knew time had run out and he was being tackled. That is Joe Lavender, number 20, who wound up with the football. We'll look at it again. Watch the whole sequence of events here.
Maybe it wasn't great, but that was fantastic. Everything that happened on that one play. Kenny Houston has a nose for running the ball, and he gets back to the opposite side of the field, and it looked like he got it all the way, and then he's cut off there. He fumbles the ball. Gerard Williams picks it up, and he's the one. He laterals it back to Brown, little Eddie Brown. Someone kicks it. Joe Bird picks it up, and he's gone. That is one way to end the half, I guess.
All right. That's it. That's the end of the first half with the score. Washington 10, Tampa Bay nothing.
Cicely Tyson for Color Track by RCA.
My rose is red, my skin is dark brown, and my dress is bright orange. If these colors don't look right to you, you should know about Color Track from RCA. Getting the color right is what Color Track is all about. It actually adjusts the colors and locks them on track.
Before you see the Color Track system grabs it, aligns it, defines it, sharpens it, tones it, and locks the color on track.
RCA is making television better and better.
Ford means business in big trucks. And now Ford announces the CL9000, its new lightweight cabover. Compare the driver comfort of its spacious cab with optional cab air ride. Compare the efficiency of its lightweight, choice of engines, and aerodynamic design. Compare features like plug-in gauges designed to help minimize downtime. Ford CL9000. Compare it with any line hauler on the road today. Ford means business in big trucks.
Pabst Blue Ribbon knows that to bring a 5,000-pound African elephant back to the safety of its protected herd is a challenge that's just not for everyone. But we do challenge you to discover a better tasting beer. Taste and compare Pabst with any other premium beer. You'll taste the difference Blue Ribbon quality makes. Pabst, since 1844, the quality has always come through.
This week, Rhoda meets her new boss.
You gotta be the rudest person I ever met.
You never met my wife.
I would be afraid to meet the woman who married you.
I would too. She died 10 years ago.
Then two girls face naked truth in advertising in the premiere of On Our Own. New comedy right after Rhoda. Sunday Funny starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Spectacular presents live coverage of the Jockey Club Gold Cup, the third leg of the Fall Triple Crown. Highlights of the highly acclaimed Junichi Cup with three-time Olympic gold medalist Nadia Comaneci of Romania competing. And the world's strongest men competition featuring the wrist roll. That's next Saturday at 4:30.
Welcome back to Tampa Bay. Frank Lieber along with Roy Jefferson at halftime with Washington leading Tampa Bay 10-0. As we promised you, a couple of special interviews. Roy was down on the field prior to the game and talked to George Allen.
The Redskins, it's especially so when you play a team like Tampa, because in the past, we haven't generally done well with the weaker teams in the league. What is your thought about your players this week?
Well, Roy, that's a good question because it's a big game for us. By winning, we're either tied with Dallas or 2 games ahead of St. Louis, and we also can pick up a game on either Philadelphia or New York since they're playing today. We respect this ball club. They have an excellent defense. In fact, they have one of the best defenses in the league, and we're going to have to play a top-notch game to win. We're going to have to play all the way around, special teams, offense, and defense. We just can't let down.
Right. You know, you talk about defense. That is definitely Tampa Bay's strong point. But you just got a guy back, Chris Hamburger. He had an appendectomy not too many weeks ago. Came back last week and had a great game against the Cardinals. How is his status now? Was he able to practice this week? And what do you look forward to?
Roy, he split the time with Mike Curtis again. He should be better this week because he went through that. I didn't think he could play the whole game last week. We feel the big thing we have to do on defense is not give them anything cheap. They got a lot of speed and 2 of their wide receivers. We don't know whether Ricky Bell is going to play today. And I expect Chris would play the whole ball game today. That's what I'm planning for.
I thought it was a great thing. I thought it was something emotionally uplifting for the team that Chris did get back last week.
Yeah.
And against a team like St. Louis, it was the best showing of the Redskins this year. And within my mind, I saw that was that's what we needed. You know, that's what the Redskins needed, was a good win against a good team.
Well, Roy, we had what you experienced. We had a lot of enthusiasm and players congratulating each other, and the sidelines were alive. We played like the Redskins of old, and that's what we'll have to get today. I know that sometimes it's difficult coming off a big win to have that same emotion 2 weeks in a row, but Tampa, expansion teams at home, usually play well. That's when they have their best performances.
Billy Kilmer, he is the man. I think he is the man that has to make that offensive unit go. Yeah. And many people were worried about that. He wasn't capable of it. I saw last week that he was. Yeah. How is Billy doing now with his little injuries?
Well, he had a better week this week, and I think that our offensive line should have more confidence. They had a good game against St. Louis. Mike Thomas should be better. He's really still in training camp from a conditioning standpoint. Calvin's been doing a good job for us in there. We really have more depth in our running backs than we've had in the past.
Right. The defense again. Dennis Johnson, he had a great game last week. He had 2 sacks.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate Dennis having a great year coming off of that game he had last week?
I sure hope so, because Dennis is young. He has the quickness, the speed, the strength, and I'll be interested in the type of game Dennis has. I think Dennis can have a great season this year if he plays with that intensity. He was a wild man last week.
He was.
He was pounding the ground. Did you
It was exciting watching him do it. Coach, I thank you, and have a good game today. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Roy. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Head coach George Allen in that interview taped prior to today's game. You heard them mention the Tampa Bay defense. We'll talk about the Buccaneers defense with their head coach, John McKay, in a moment. The NFL Today on CBS will return after this word from your local station.
Archie and Edith bury a cousin and uncover a family secret tonight at 9, 8 Central and Mountain on CBS.
Coach, your defense appears to be playing good enough to stay on the field with anybody.
Well, Frank, we've been fortunate. We haven't had any injuries there, and we've got a young defensive team, but they're very aggressive, and truthfully, there are a lot of pretty good athletes on the team, and I hope it can hold up this afternoon.
How about your patience?
Well, my patience is still pretty good because I think we are doing exactly what we set out to do. We're a very young team that as we grow older, I think we'll grow a lot better, and this is our plan. We had a 5-year plan when we came here, and we think we're on schedule.
Do you think the weather will help you here and that it may wear down some of these old men?
Oh, I don't know about that, but I do know the crowd will help us. It's a tremendous crowd, and they'll be behind us. And if we can make some big plays and get them all stirred up, I think it helped us certainly against Minnesota and did against Baltimore here earlier. And it's helped us about every time we played here.
Are you disappointed at all with the way the offense has gone, or do you attribute it mainly to the injuries?
Well, I attribute it mostly, Frank, to the injuries, with Barilla going down, who would have been a #1 quarterback, and then Huff went down and still really not ready to play very much. Ricky Bell goes down, and then our 2 tight ends and our left guard. So we've been injured there, but on the good aspect of it, defensively, we hadn't have anybody injured, so our defense is playing well. I don't think our offense is playing very well at all.
What did you base your decision on starting quarterback today on?
Well, I think that they're going to rush us. I think Hedberg's a better scrambler, so we're going to go with him first. But I expect to put Huff in the ball game if he can move around. But he is wearing one of those knee braces, Frank, that I don't especially like. And I didn't think last week against Dallas that he could move well enough to escape blitzes and things like that. And I think you have to do that in this type of football.
I know you've said you need something like 25 #3 draft picks or better to be a contender. Is that kind of your code?
Well, we looked around at the teams, and basically, you know, unless you can get a veteran player and have a veteran team that you can bring him in and he can play right away, that the best players in the National League are probably in the first 4 rounds year in and year out, although there's always an exception. We have 2 free agents here that could play with almost anybody. But as I have looked around and we have tried to determine the teams like Cincinnati and Pittsburgh and such, it's been built through the draft, and that's the way we intend to go.
It's pretty well direct contrast to George Allen's philosophy, and yet he's done well.
Well, I think George's philosophy for him is fine because he inherited an old team that could play pretty well. He added experience to that team, and if when I get this team that old, I'll be very difficult for you to say bring this rookie in and make the team. I'll play with the older people who have the experience, but I don't have any older people that have any experience, and it's even a joke the way they list our experience. They list us 2 years experience for guys who have only been here 1 year. And we're on other teams last year as, free agents and never played in the game. So we are a very young football team.
Somewhat ironic that your oldest player just happens to be an ex-Redskin.
Well, that's our center, and Danny's done a good job for us. And Dan is what I'd call a young player. And, of course, one of the reasons he is, George didn't play very much there, so he didn't get all beat up. So, but Danny's done a good job for us.
How about your old team yesterday? Were you a little disappointed?
Well, yeah, I thought they waited too long to pull the trigger. I think that when your running attack to stop, that badly, you have to go to a passing attack. SC has one of the better ones in the country, and they got started a little too late, but it was a great football game, and I really enjoyed it.
Coach, thanks for stopping by and talking to us, and good luck to you.
Thank you, Frank.
Coach John McKay of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And both of those interviews, Coach Allen and George McKay, obviously done prior to the start of the game today. We're at halftime. Redskins lead the Buccaneers 10-0.
Oh, another all-nighter for the old workaholic, huh?
Somebody's got to get the work out.
Many people drive themselves too hard, and it's putting the cost of health care under a lot of stress. Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans have programs to hold costs down, but everybody needs to help.
I hear you're working on a transfer.
Huh?
Yeah, to that big office in the sky.
When you overtax yourself, we all pay for it.
All of us helping each of us.
A guy I know tells me this new Sunbeam adjustable groomer razor is the greatest shaver ever made. Well, I say, so what? I'm a blade man. He says, try it and you won't be. He's right.
Here's how Sunbeam's new groomer razor works. 12 stainless steel blades cut at 8,000 strokes a minute through the thinnest shaving head you can get. Stands whiskers up and shears them off, at or below the skin line.
You a blade guy? Try this. It may be the last time you use a blade.
The Dallas Cowboys are a homegrown football team and a team that plays offense like nobody else. Hi, I'm Harvey Martin, and I was born and raised in Dallas, and I'm very pleased to have this chance to show you my home. Now, in a way, Dallas came out of nowhere. No harbors, no railroads, no rivers, nothing to make it great except the people. People who saw a city that looks like tomorrow. People who love football and the Texas State Fair, summer musicals, and three-alarm chili. You know, we get kidded about being Texans and claiming to have the biggest everything, but there are people in Dallas with the biggest hearts anywhere. They're the volunteers of our United Way. People like you and me working with the Red Cross, the YMCA, Services for the Aging, and many other agencies funded by our United Way. They take pride in our team, our city, and our United Way. They're beautiful people, and for all of them, we'd like to say thanks to you. It works for all of us, the United Way.
Both teams are on the field prior to the start of the second half. As we have time here, let's give you a rundown on the scores we have around the National Football League. These are finals unless otherwise indicated. Philadelphia over the Giants today by a score of 28-10. The Eagles all the way in that one. They ran up 21 points at the outset. The Jets on their second in a row, beating Buffalo. Final score 24-19. In that particular game. Oakland defeated Cleveland as expected. The Raiders continue undefeated. 26-10. Oakland by 16 over the Cleveland Browns, who've certainly had one of the toughest schedules in the entire National Football League. New England shut out Seattle. Seattle and Tampa Bay meet next Sunday, so somebody's got to win that one. Patriots are right back on the beam once again. Minnesota and Detroit were battling for first place in the Central Division, and that now belongs to the Vikings as a result of their 14-7 victory. Detroit scored late in that game, consolation touchdown. Cincinnati over Green Bay by a score of 17-7. Glenn Dickey and Ken Anderson each had one touchdown pass. This was a track meet. Baltimore got 4 touchdown passes from Burt Jones. Miami at one point led in that game 28-10 in the first half. And Baltimore comes back to win it 45-28. Houston defeated Pittsburgh, perhaps the major upset of the day, 27-10. Both starting quarterbacks went out with injuries. Bradshaw with injured ribs, and Pastorini had a problem, I think, with an ankle or a knee. So Houston upsetting Pittsburgh. San Diego shut out Hank Stram's New Orleans Saints by a score of 14-0. San Diego certainly one of the surprising young teams in the National Football League this year. That's a third period score. Atlanta, San Francisco. Falcons playing great defense this year. Really nobody scored on them. And this is still in the second period with about a minute to go prior to the half. Herrera has just kicked a field goal to make it St. Louis 17, Dallas 13. Jim Hart threw a 62-yard touchdown pass to Mel Gray, and Tony Dorsett has run 77 and Metcalf 62. Denver leading Kansas City. That's a halftime. 16-0. And our score 10-0. Redskins leading Tampa Bay, and the Redskins will be kicking off. Tampa Bay no offense at all. Washington out first down them 10-1. We've had 8 fumbles in this game, 5 by the Redskins. They've lost 2. 3 by Tampa Bay. They've lost 1. There's another one. Reese at the 5, back to the 10, 15, and Reese to the 20-yard line. Must be something slippery on that ball, Roy.
I tell you, I think it must be just one of those days, because that's the second time there's been a fumble on the kickoff, just in the reception of it. And these kind of things just keep them in the hole, because Tampa's been in the hole all day long offensively. Even though they haven't been able to run the ball, they haven't had good field position to do anything.
Looking at these first half statistics, Tampa Bay -1 total yards in the first half. Penalty marker down as Davis took the handoff for a yard out to the 21-yard line. A lot of penalties in this game, too. Tampa Bay penalized 4 times, Redskins once. I think this one will go against the Redskins. Let's see. Defensive holding. That's an automatic first down.
Defensive holding on a running play. Now that's pretty tough.
Looked like Mike Curtis was engaged, a little bit of a wrestling match there.
Fence. First down.
Now that's a change, and they're taking Chris Hamburger out and put Mike Curtis in the game. I guess he's not feeling too well. This heat probably really got to him.
I would imagine you'd see more substituting than usual because of the heat. Davis trying to slide off a tackle. Stopped near the line of scrimmage.
I think Allen may have these guys ready to play football now. They've come out and they've looked pretty good these first 2 plays.
Now tell me, you've been in a Redskin locker room at halftime on a game like this. What does he tell you? Does he get that fired up, emotional, the whole thing?
He does. He gets very emotional. I think the thing that he probably impressed upon him is that, look, you guys are supposed to be the best team out here, but you're playing very poorly. You're making mistakes, doing things that we're not supposed to do, and it's the only way we're going to win football games without making mistakes. He's got his own way of saying it.
Tampa Bay rushed for 30 yards in the first half, but they were -31 passing. Here's Huff. Boy, he looked both ways before he finally decided to go to Dana Knapsiger. Number 83, the big rookie tight end, and Gerard Williams was defending.
The Redskins went with a double zone this time, where both free safeties went out deep, and the cornerback had the short zone, and Gerard Williams played it just perfectly, and he's supposed to pick up that tight end if he comes out into the flat. He just made a great defensive play on it.
3rd down 10.
And of course, Gerard Williams is replacing Pat Fisher in this game. I guess he was a little more hurt than at first than what they thought he was.
Tampa Bay from its 25-yard line. Again, we get markers everywhere. Isaac Hagan's at the 40. Caught by Lavender at midfield, but we had markers thrown everywhere. Let's see which way this one goes.
That was the first offensive play that broke.
That goes against the Redskins. It'll be far and away the biggest offensive gain of the afternoon. Nope, going to go against. It'll go against Tampa Bay, and it'll all be for naught. They got him on illegal motion. So wipe it out. That'd have been the first time that Tampa Bay's been across the 50. But all for naught.
It was a really good play and good move by number 81, and it's just sad that they had to have a penalty on the play.
Illegal motion, right guard, offense, 3rd down.
Steve Wilson.
Yeah, you can see him moved in. I think all they did here was delay that wide receiver and coming underneath across there, and the traffic there got him open.
On 3rd down 16, Huff caught from behind and pinned back at the 12-yard line.
There's Dennis Johnson again, and he had a great game last week and looked like he's trying to continue right now. George Allen commented who was very quick, and he's very strong also, and he just ran over the guy and came around him. And there was good pressure from the inside by Dole and Talbot. And Dennis Johnson got his first sack of the day.
Green back to do the punting. He's had a busy afternoon. 7 kicks in the first half for an average of 40.1. Redskins with 10 men up on the line of scrimmage. Green gets it away. Eddie Brown waiting at the 50. Juggled it for a moment and is dropped at the 46-yard line of Tampa Bay. So the Redskins will go into their first offensive possession of the second half. Pretty good field position.
Well, it looks like it's just like it was last half. You know, Redskins are starting off in great field position every time. But what's happening is they're not taking advantage of it.
Time out of the field with 13:33 left to play in the 3rd period.
Firestone only on the road. But when you take a day to relax, you'll find Firestone stays right with you to share in the fun. Like children's balloons made of Firestone natural rubber latex. For padded protection, Firestone can supply rubber bumpers and urethane foam. And seat belts on thrillers like these. Under the counter, you'll find Firestone again in the stainless steel beverage containers. For smooth stops, steam locomotives rely on Firestone air brake hoses. Firestone air stroke actuators open the gates to fun. Inside, Firestone vinyl resins for stage floorings. So even when you take the day off, Firestone doesn't. For we believe as long as Firestone keeps thinking about people, people will keep thinking about Firestone.
Don't forget Logan's Run. New time tomorrow night, 8 p.m., 7 Central and Mountain Time on CBS. That's CBS's answer to Star Wars. I think you'll enjoy it if you haven't seen it before. Redskins' first offensive possession of the second half. They have the ball at the Tampa Bay 46-yard line. Thomas and Riggins are the setbacks, and Kilmer comes out throwing. Wide open is Fugit at the 30-yard line, and Gene carries it to the 25 for an easy first down. 20 yards on that play. Kilmer, 9 out of 12 in the first half. For 105 yards, he was sacked twice.
Gene Fugit is definitely one of the best tight ends in the league. He's got a lot of speed, good quickness. And the Redskins were lucky to pick him up from the Dallas Cowboys.
It's about the only thing the Dallas will ever give him. I mean, they didn't give him. They let him go rather reluctantly, I'm sure. He, along with Calvin Hill. Ball is at the 26-yard line. Thomas to the 23. Quick score here by the Redskins, and could take a lot of the steam out of Tampa Bay's sails. They realize, Tampa Bay does, they just need a touchdown here, defense or otherwise. They're right back in this game.
They're still trying to keep that running game going, and but I think he's going to have to throw that ball to score. That Tampa defense is tough.
Thomas was the leading rusher in the game in the first half with 30 yards on 7 carries, an average of 4.3. Second down, 7. Redskins at the Tampa Bay 24. Taylor wide to the right side. Jones split off to the left. Kilmer fires downfield, intended for Thomas, who is cutting across at the 5-yard line and deflected away by Jarris White, number 45 of Tampa.
And that rollout, Billy wanted to get to Mike Thomas right away, but the linebacker was in the way, and you could see him directing Thomas to get away from that linebacker. And then he threw it, and it was a great defensive play there, and almost an interception.
That is some record that George Allen has compiled in his National Football League career, particularly on the road. Toughest place to win. Third down, 7. Redskins at the 24. They need to get it a little bit closer, really, to give Mosley a decent shot at a field goal here. Kilmer got it away and completes it to Larry Jones at the 13-yard line for the first down. Jones on in relief of Frank Grant, who is shaken up in the second period of play.
And Frank must have been shaken up more than what I previously thought. But this is a slot formation over there. It's nothing but a Y-N pattern, and Larry Jones runs a great pattern. He cuts across there, makes a great catch of it, and held onto the ball when he was hit. And he was hit pretty good there.
Redskins, 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. Fake to Riggins. Kilmer still throwing the football. Boy, that is something that you might paste out and put in the history books, because when's the last time he dropped one like that?
You know,
Charlie Taylor.
Charlie Taylor is one of the greatest that played the game. And this was a similar pattern, except in the fact that Charlie now is coming over the middle and Larry Jones is going outside. And I don't think Charlie was really ready for this. He had came off of, he almost ran into Larry Jones and a defensive back there. And I think he might have even saw that safety man sitting in his face.
2nd and 10. Redskins have really gone to the air here in the early part of the third period, having difficulty running against Tampa Bay. Quick throw and juggled and dropped. Incomplete. Jones tried to find the handle, couldn't do it.
That's 2 of them right on the money and weren't caught. And you can't fault Billy Kilmer for that.
Got rocked pretty good by Tampa's Cedric Brown, number 34.
Nothing but a quick post. Larry Jones comes wide open. He had it in his hands and it just dropped out.
3rd down. Redskins still need the 10 for the first down at the 13-yard line. Kilmer, flags are down. Taylor was the closest man to it, cutting across the middle. Pass was way overthrown. The penalty is going to go against the Redskins.
That's a pattern that they try to get Mike Thomas out there on a corner pattern on the linebacker by himself and Charlie coming across the middle. Billy had to rush his throw that time and couldn't get it to him. But it was well covered anyway on both cases. Mike Thomas and Charlie Taylor were both covered on that play.
Preliminary indication is a holding call against the Redskins. Now we got a little bit of a decision here to be made by Tampa Bay. They want to decline the penalty and set up 4th down and let Mosley go away and kick it, or else take the penalty and shove him back a little bit further and give him another shot at it, hoping that they don't pick up the first down here and that Mosley will have to kick it from a lot further out. They'll take the penalty. 10-yard holding call.
I think Billy likes that. I'm sure he'd like another chance at trying to
motion,
score.
20 offense, the penalties decline. Holding, 24 offense. 74.
Redskins had 2 infractions on that play. So the holding call moves them back to the 23-yard line. It is now 3rd down. Washington needs 20 for the first down. They have to reach the 3-yard line to pick up the first down. Kilmer back to throw it, swings it out to Thomas, and he can't hold it.
3 drop balls. 3 drop balls, and that wasn't from humidity. Didn't do it. Just a matter of concentration on all 3 cases right there.
Well, we said this game was loosely played in the first half. It's getting to the point now where it's being sloppily played.
I thought that's got to have Billy very disappointed right now. And having 3 balls he put right on the money and neither one of them being caught.
40-yard field goal attempt for Mosley. Theismann to hold. Far enough, but no good. He missed it left this time. So Mosley has missed 2 field goal attempts, and Tampa Bay stays within shooting range at 10-0. Crowd really loving the play of the Buccaneers defense. Timeout. Washington leading 10-0.
Take me away, lover. I'm yours. I don't go with married women. What are you doing in our Granada? Granada? This is my Mercedes. Hold tight. Didn't get hands to my Cadillac. Cadillac? That's the Granada. Alone at last, beloved.
Beloved?
Where's my bride?
You got that Mercedes with another man.
Another man?
The new Ford Granada. One way to tell it from Cadillac or Mercedes is its sticker price. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Who is the #1 investment firm in the East? Who is the #1 investment firm in the Midwest? Who is the #1 investment firm in the South? Who is the #1 investment firm in the West? You know who. Merrill Lynch. All around America, more investors turn to Merrill Lynch than any other investment firm. Sure, there are lots of investment firms, but there's only one Merrill Lynch.
Logan's Run, the ultimate trip. Now on a new night and a new time. Monday starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
As the shade begins to settle over the field here at Tampa Stadium, let's remind you once again about the CBS Sports Spectacular. Highlights of the World's Strongest Men competition, the Chinichi Cup and the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Well, the crowd is getting strong, and that's what George Allen was worried about. This crowd can really help an expansion team at home if they do anything at all offensively. They're going to go wild. Huff trying to complete the pass over on the far side to Owens, number 85.
Morris Owens is their speed burner, and they're trying to get that ball to him because they know they've got the score. And he just runs a simple out pattern here. But all day long he's covered. Just watching him run that pattern. Kenny Houston's on him, and he stutter stepped too long up the field before he made his break. So Kenny was all over that.
We mentioned Mike Curtis is in replacing Chris Hamburger at that right side linebacker. Here at the start of the second half, here's Huff again. He's got a man open this time and completes it down the near sidelines to number 82, Gary Butler.
Gary Butler just came in here, and these Tampa people will go crazy over him if they can get something out of this after he's starting this drive.
Here it is again, and I think this is Tampa Bay's deepest penetration so far. They're on their own 44.
It's a simple corner pattern, and he runs it, and I think Joe Lavender must have thought that he was going to run inside and played him inside, and he must have made a great move to get back outside for that pass.
First down, Tampa Bay. That's only their second first down of the ball game. Quick pitch, Davis. 45, 50, 45, 40, 35. Davis down to the 25-yard line.
Tampa Bay has erupted now. Anthony Davis jumped outside there, buddy, and he was gone.
I think we may have a marker.
It's just a simple pitch out. Very good blocking on a play, and he makes a great cut up into the hole and broke 2 tackles on the way. And Anthony, I don't think has that.
The penalty was against the Redskins. Defensive holding. Obviously declined by Tampa Bay. They'll take the first down at the Redskin 25.
And I don't think Anthony Davis has that speed that he had possessed in college, but the kid is still a quality running back, as he showed on that play right there.
Officials mark it at the 20-yard line, make it the 20 instead of the 25. So the Buccaneers, for the first time in the football game, past the 50-yard line in the Redskins end of the field, have a first down at the Washington 20. And if they can push it across here, we've got a brand new football game.
The holding must have been on Curtis that time on the tight end because he was blocking on him at the time.
Gary Huff looking over the defensive alignment for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's gone most of the way at quarterback. Long count play this time to give to Davis. Davis stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and then Jake Scott came up with a secure hit.
It was a great play by Jake Scott. He got stuffed at the line of scrimmage there by Brundage McDowell. He ran into one of his own men, and then Jake Scott just comes in and blasts.
Loss of a yard of the play at his second down 11. Butler comes back into the lineup, replacing Knapsager at tight end. Up. Protection good, going for Butler, and almost intercepted by Joe Lavender, number 20.
That was a matter of just forcing the ball in there. That man was covered. He landed a man that he could have gotten to on the other side of the field. Either one of the other 2 wide receivers had a better opportunity of getting to that ball. But I think he was successful on one play there, and it was just going to the well too often. Because once you do it once on these Washington ball players, you're not coming back and getting another one. Joe Bird almost had an interception there. Had he not lost his balance in going up, he'd have had that ball.
Third down, 11. Tampa Bay at the Redskin 21. Up. Running out of the pocket. 20. And stopped at the 19-yard line. Well, he put on the brakes, or he would have gotten at least an extra 3 or 4 yards out of the play.
But I tell you, his wide receiver on the left side there was wide open. He did not wait enough. If he'd have run up there and stopped there, his wide receiver's wide open in the middle there. And, of course, Eddie Brown comes up and make a great tackle, open field tackle right there.
I guess that's what you wide receivers always say. You're always wide open, right?
Well, he had a linebacker to slow him up, and he didn't slow him up at all, and he got loose underneath there.
Alan Levitt, 36-yard field goal attempt. Far enough. No good. It's off to the right. Levitt misses from 36 yards away, and the Redskin followers have to be sighing a huge sigh of relief as they stop that Tampa Bay charge and take over at the 20-yard line. We'll be back in just a moment.